The Faculty of Health and Life Sciences at DMU brings together high quality education, industry links and specialist teaching. It's home to our wide range of pharmaceutical, healthcare, lab-based and social science courses which aim to improve the lives and health of those around us. Many of our courses are professionally accredited or endorsed by professional bodies, meaning you can be assured of receiving teaching of the highest quality with a focus on building the skills which are really sought by employers. Behind me you can see the 19th century Hawthorne building, which has facilities designed to replicate current practice in health and life sciences, including contemporary analytical chemistry and formulation laboratories, audiology booths, nursing and midwifery clinical skills suites. Our recent addition of a new radiography suite simulates real-world settings, allowing you to put theory into practice. Integrated placements, optional work experience and voluntary opportunities also provide you with the chance to learn from professionals in the sector. Our students have already benefited from placements at schools, in community centres, the NHS and major pharmaceutical companies, law enforcement agencies and community pharmacies. Alongside employability, we pride ourselves in producing graduates who are able to work as part of an interprofessional team, and we have teaching designed to embed this throughout your time with us to further enhance your career prospects. Our graduates go on to secure jobs in globally recognised companies including GSK, AstraZeneca, LGC Forensics, Boots, 3M, the Ministry of Defence, as well as the NHS. I hope I've provided a flavour of health and life sciences and the community that you could be a part of. We look forward to seeing you soon.
Hello and welcome everyone, and thank you for joining us today for this De Montfort University live stream, where we're going to be talking to you about the opportunities and benefits of studying a degree with us here in the Faculty of Health and Life Sciences. My name's Vanessa and I work as part of the Faculty Marketing and Recruitment team, and I'm going to be joined on this live stream by my colleague who is the Associate Dean for International, along with a current international student, and together we are hopefully going to give you lots of information about the faculty and about what it's like to study here in Leicester at the university. You can interact with us throughout this live stream, so if you do have any comments or any questions, you can pop them in the comments section and we will happily try and answer as many as we can as we go through this live stream. So sit back and listen in, and without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to my panel members. So if you'd like to just both start off by saying who you are and a little bit about yourself. So if we start with our current student.
Hi, my name is Julia and I am a second-year psychology student. I come from Poland.
Thank you very much, Julia. Nice to have you with us.
And good morning, afternoon, wherever you are across the world. Pleasure to meet you. My name's John, or Jonathan Fisher-Jones, and I'm the Associate Dean International for the faculty, which essentially means all the overseas student recruitment, the international partnerships, student staff mobility and research is looked after by me. A pleasure to meet you all.
Brilliant. Thank you very much, John. So hopefully throughout today's live stream, if you are at different stages of your journey, maybe some of you are still thinking about where you want to come and study. Some of you may have already applied and are just looking for some further information. At whatever stage you're at in the journey, wherever you are in the world, welcome, and it's great to have you on board. And as I say, please do use this opportunity to get information and to ask us any questions that you might have. So to start off with, what we're going to do is just go through a few slides that will just overview a bit more about the faculty, a little bit more about the kind of opportunities that we have and about what we are and what we stand for. So I'm going to hand over to John, who has some presentation slides that we're going to put up on the screen. And as I say, throughout that, please do, if there's any questions, pop them in the chat and we will get round to them. So Julia, just for now, we're going to say bye-bye to you and we'll bring you back on shortly and have a chat with you. Thank you. And let's bring on the presentation. Okay, so John, when you're ready, just let me know and I'll pull the slides onto the next one.
Fantastic. Thank you, Vanessa. So again, welcome all. I'll just keep this brief. I'll go through just some major salient points from the presentation here to introduce you to not only the university, but the city as well as the faculty. So as you're aware, my name's John. I'm the Associate Dean International. So welcome to the Faculty of Health and Life Science. So what you may have picked up on in that short video by our Dean and Pro Vice Chancellor, Simon Oldroyd, is that beautiful building in the background. So this university was established well before the 19th century. However, it became a health and life science hub in 1909 with that beautiful building you see behind, which is still utilized with our labs, etc. We offer a massive range of courses across the university, spread across 4 faculties, but particularly within the Faculty of Health and Life Science, we have 4 schools that I'll be going over in a bit. Essentially, our courses, we try and do the 3 core things, which is try to make sure you have the most amazing international experience when you're here, that you're taught incredibly well, and that everything is professionally accredited and regulated, which means you get a job at the end of your studies. Next slide, please. Again, looking at the employability aspect, we're very lucky, especially with the practicality of these courses, that we have incredible links to big organizations like the National Health Service, Fiverr, L'Oreal, 3M, etc., and many, many more. Often our courses have work experience tied in, alongside industry standard teaching practices, which come about in the accreditation process. So it's not only us saying our degrees are good enough, your future employers know that we have those stamps to say, absolutely fantastic, we accept and we want students from DMU. Next slide, please. So, like I said, we have 4 different schools within our faculty. The first one being the Leicester School of Nursing and Midwifery. Currently, due to the limitations on how many students we can accept, because they have to be placed, and about 50% of your time on this course is spent actually in hospitals doing practical work. So this has been open. We opened up adult nursing BSc with honours, which is accredited by Nursing and Midwifery Council, which essentially means you've got the fantastic inroad to get a job either with the NHS if you wish to stay here. It currently has a 100% employability rate, or to go back home to your country where you can set up and start your career. Next slide, please. Our next school is the Leicester School of Allied Health Sciences, which essentially these are all of our sciences that are allied to medicine. So the first one, biomedical science, which is an absolutely fantastic course, again, about 50% lab-based, so incredibly practical. We have our health and wellbeing and society course, and medical science. So biomedical and medical probably share about 50% of the same content. Both are incredibly lab-based and interesting and unique. And then we also have speech and language therapy, which is a very small course, again, highly practical, highly integrated with our local employers. And that's at an undergraduate level. So all of those are BScs. And then we have 2 masters. We have our advanced biomedical science, which we're currently, again, highly lab based. So we're currently limited to about 60 students per year. So often we get towards the end of the year and we have to close the course. So if that's something you're really interested in, I'd highly suggest getting your application and deposit sorted as soon as possible. And then we have our newest course, which is Global Health MSc, which last year had around 107 students from all across the world. So big cohorts from Nigeria, India, across Europe, some China, some Southeast Asia. We've been running it now, I believe we're going into our 3rd year of running it. Both of these courses are 1-year masters and absolutely fantastic. It's been so successful, and the outcomes that students are getting are truly wonderful from these courses. Next slide, please. And then we have our founding school within the Faculty of Health and Life Science. Again, I'm saying that, is it 1909 or 1906? I believe it's, anyway, a long time ago, well over 100 years ago, we set up the Leicester School of Pharmacy. We have an international year 0 that run through DMUIC, our partners, but we also have our 4-year MPharm course, which again, I believe on last look was about 97% employability rate, but I'd need to double check that. But a 4-year course, again, accredited by the GPHC alongside the British Pharmaceutical Council. We also do a pharmaceutical science 1-year top up. So this is just a final year course. So if you've been studying elsewhere for 3 or 4 years, you can come over and do a 1-year course and get our degree. The pharmaceutical and cosmetic science is a very niche and unique course. There's only one other in the UK that bears that same title. There are others that do cosmetic science in other universities. However, this is a really unique look into the pharmaceutical and cosmetic industry. We all know how big those industries are and how wonderful it is for employability. Our forensic science BSc is another 3-year course, again accredited, very lab-based. Again, we've got wonderful new forensic science blocks in the university that are around 7 years old that we spent a couple of million on a few years ago. So that's our undergraduate portfolio in the pharmacy school. And then we have 2 of our bigger courses, which is pharmaceutical biotechnology and pharmaceutical quality by design. If you're interested in those sort of things, I'm sure you've got a broad grasp of what the pharm biotech is. However, the pharmaceutical quality by design looks at not only the pharmaceutical aspects, but also production. So our graduates often go into the pharmaceutical industry. However, your knowledge on production and streamlining can be applied to so many other aspects. One of our recent graduates has started working in the council looking at their processes. So whilst it's not technically or in any way pharmaceutical, the means of production and streamlining is really highlighted there. And our final school is the School of Applied Social Sciences. So this is our bigger school. We have our criminology, education studies, and the big course, which is psychology BSc. So studying different types of psychology at the moment, there's probably around 1,000-ish students studying different types of psychology courses, which have options in criminology, education studies, health and well-being and society. So a really interesting, big, broad course. That's the undergraduate portfolio. And then there's 3 postgraduate, all 1-year courses, which is the education practice, psychological well-being, and health psychology. Next slide, please. So again, when you're here, there are 3 core things we want you to have, which is great fun, a great outcome, and a job at the end. And often there's an adaptation, as I'm sure Julia can attest to, coming from a different form of study, a different nationality, a different way of studying in different countries. So our support mechanisms are massively there, which come in line of a designated personal tutor, which you're given 1 hour per week, where you can just set a time with them, go through anything. If you're struggling, or if you want help in direction, or there's other things you want to explore within academia, that's your time with them. We have a student advice centre. We have obviously our wonderful and amazing library that runs classes to help you academically. But it's not only the academic side we want to look after, it's also you as individuals. So we run Healthy DMU, which looks at your health and well-being, both mental and physical, to make sure to study you're in a good place. We have our student gateway and our careers team as well, to make sure you're getting all the support you need going on to the next stages of life. So employability, which is something I've hit on for a while now. So it's not only me saying it that we are incredibly good at this and we're incredibly dedicated to this, but we've been winning awards for years now. So 2021, we were the best university for careers and employability service, and that's across all universities in the UK, whether it be Oxford, Cambridge, or Nottingham Trent. We've really put in a lot of effort for those support mechanisms. Every year, we have guaranteed work opportunities and experiences for every single student. With some courses, they might be already within your course through placements, etc. But if you've got a course that doesn't require that, such as psychology, there are always options for you, whether that's we can look to get you placements, internships, volunteering opportunities, but also just general careers afternoons if you can't dedicate more than a couple of hours, if you've got a family or children or a life beyond that. And also with DMU for Life, we've got a fantastic alumni network that we've been pushing really hard, a fantastic gateway, which if we'll give you the link to later, I'm sure, but where you can speak to our alumni and current students and even staff on there that, that support mechanism is there before you arrive and throughout the rest of your life and career. And our city. So one of the truly wonderful and unique things is that we're in Leicester. So Leicester has been named as the 4th most vibrant city in the UK. It was the first plural city in Europe, which means that not one nationality dominates. It's full of every culture from every world. We've got a Narborough Road, which more languages are spoken on that single road than any other in the UK. So 70 language spoken, 14 different faiths. We've got multicultural faith centres at DMU. Everybody is really well catered for, and we're all open. So the campus is right in the middle of the city centre as well. And I lived in Leicester for a good couple of years, and it's a fantastic city that has 2 big universities. So many things are tailored towards you as students, both price-wise and entertainment-wise. It says there that the campus is 10-minute walk from the city centre. I think that depends where you count the city centre. I'd say our campus is just over the road. I mean, literally just the crossing over the road. But it's a wonderful city that has something for everyone, every culture, every type of food, every religion. And we're very lucky to live in such a diverse society, which for me is what makes Britain so special. Next slide, please. We're also a UN hub for sustainability, which is a very niche and rare thing. So all of our sustainable development goals we try to embed them across the curriculum. So it's not just something we shout about or we go to conferences about. We're actually injecting this into our curriculum. So you're getting the best and most thorough education with sustainability in the United Nations. So we're defined by that. We're incredibly privileged, and the links we have to the United Nations, as you can see through our DMU global trips. We had the UN come and visit a couple of weeks ago to talk to students and staff about how we can further these goals. So to find out more, the information is there. I'm sure it will be shared. But yeah, that's all from me. But obviously, any questions you have, yeah, please just pop it in the comments and we'll go through shortly. Thank you, Vanessa.
Brilliant. Thank you so much, John, for that really helpful overview about not just the faculty, but a little bit about where we are, where we're based, and what you can get involved in if you decide to come and study here at De Montfort University. So thank you for that. And as John says, if there's anything that John's spoken about that you would like to ask a question on, or we would like a bit more information about, please do let us know. I think there was one question that came in, John, that we might just bring in now, just because it's relevant to what we were talking about. And it's from Myosin, if I've pronounced that correctly. He says, thank you. Is there a placement opportunity for the Advanced Biomedical Science course?
Yes, there are. So with some courses, placements are guaranteed and integral to the course. With Advanced Biomedical Science, it's not. So we can support you with getting one. However, it's not credit bearing, so it's not integrated within the course. However, yes, there are absolute options. They won't be guaranteed. There may be interview processes depending where you want those placements for. But yeah, there are opportunities and availability for it. It just can't be guaranteed, but we'll do everything we can to support you in that journey.
Yeah, brilliant. Thanks, John. And it's worth noting and adding on there as well that we do have a dedicated placement team here in the faculty that's just for looking for placements for the health and life sciences students. So you can work with them. And like I say, they've got lots of advice when it comes to actually applying for placements, because as John's already just alluded to there, that it's not always a guarantee. There is sometimes an application process that you have to go through as well. So thank you, John, just for bringing that in. Okay, so I think it's about time we brought Julia back in. Hi, Julia. Thank you for being really patient and letting us just go through those slides. So just thought it'd be really useful, because obviously it was only a couple of years ago now that you were in this position of actually thinking about and deciding where you would like to go and study. And obviously, fortunate for us, you decided to come to De Montfort University and study for psychology. So thinking back to that time, what actually made you to decide that you'd like to come and study in the UK, and why did you particularly choose DMU?
When it comes to choosing the UK, there were a few reasons, but mostly I knew that I would have much more opportunities for me to develop personally, academically, and professionally in the UK than I would have in my country, in Poland, or probably any other country in Europe. It's like UK is really well recognized for good system of education and opportunities for us to fulfill our career aspirations, if they are pretty ambitious and high. And then DMU actually, and psychology course at DMU, it was tempting definitely for the accreditation, which is not available in each university, the British Psychological Society accreditation. I know that this is not the only one course that is accredited, and it's amazing, because if we want to continue our path in a particular career, like for me in psychology, the accreditation is pretty important. Then I did the Monteverdi University International College, and it was amazing preparation for the transition, for adjusting into the new system of education in the UK. I had, for example, English module that helped me adjust to the academic style, learn it, understand it, use it in my essays, because I have never wrote a proper academic essay before coming to university. So I kind of received lots of support, and through my 2 years here, I realized that it's not only support in your education, but it's also support in getting practical experience in any field we are interested in the field of our course. That's amazing.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks, Julia. And I think it's great that you've touched upon there that you actually joined us through our partner college, the DMUIC. So obviously, if there's anybody that's sat there that's thinking about doing the same, then obviously do ask any questions to Julia about what that was like, doing that kind of foundation year before then moving into a degree. So you touched a little bit there anyway already about the kind of support that you feel that you've received as an international student. But is there anything else that you'd like to add in terms of how you felt supported with obviously that transition of coming from Poland and coming to live here in the UK and in Leicester?
At the beginning, I would like to emphasize what John said, that Leicester is extremely diverse city. And that's why when I came here, I didn't feel like an alien, or surrounded by just British people. There were so many different cultures and nationalities around. They could feel not like at home, because we don't have it at home, but I could feel that I will find my place, that I will find my people, what I of course did. That's the very first thing to say. But then I was pretty independent. So before I actually came to the UK, I did my research. I read many guides online, especially the DMU sections for international students. So I made a list for myself, what I need to do, what I need to think about, like setting a bank account, preparing for my course, looking for accommodation. This is very important, and what accommodation would be good for the first year student to kind of be around with people to make this transition easier again. So I made a list to reduce the stress and make this transition an unforgettable journey rather than a stressful moment in my life. So I recommend that for you. Make a list of everything you need to do before, cross each point one by one, and then you will be fine. You will just realize, oh, I'm here already and I have amazing time. I can explore, I can experience because I did everything before.
I think that's, some great advice there about how to sort of prepare and get ready for coming into a different country. So how easy is it, would you say, to sort of embed yourself and to make those friends and to make those connections? Because like for anybody, whether you're from the UK or from international, from overseas, that kind of thought about walking into a lecture theatre for the first time and not really knowing anybody. I suppose as an international student, you might feel that even more so, that kind of, am I going to make friends? Are people going to talk to me? So how did you go about making those friends and connections?
It's basically like each first day you have at new school. So it's kind of stressful, and especially when you're entering university, because we are mature, we can be more shy. I used to be really shy person before I started university. Those 2 years ago, I kind of even cannot imagine how much I changed since that. But definitely what helped me was accommodation, because I came to the UK 2 weeks before I think my classes started, and I chose DMU accommodation with 9 other people. And that was amazing. It sounds scary whenever I tell it to people that I lived with 9 other people, but I think that was the best decision I could have made. I just literally came and met people. We sat in the evening in our kitchen around big table. We started playing games. We went out, and in the first day, I made 9 new friends in Leicester. Then at university, it's easy because we don't have only lectures in big theaters with lots of people. It's probably harder to make friends. But then we have workshops and seminars. they are in smaller groups, they are based on group works, and these are the classes where I made most of my friends, that I could cooperate with them, find some mutual interest, and it was really easy to make new friendships.
Yeah, excellent, Julia. I think, like you say, sometimes moving into accommodation is the best way to sort of make those first initial kind of contacts and groups of people that you're friends with. And I think, yeah, I mean, sharing accommodation with 9 people is no easy feat, I can imagine. But like you say, it gives you that opportunity just to sort of, yeah, get to know somebody from day one. And like you say, I think you're all thrown into that crazy situation together, so you do bond really quickly, I think, when you decide to live in accommodation. So yeah, some really good advice there. Okay, so we've got just a couple of minutes left before the end of our live stream, and I know there are a few questions that have come in, which I think are more kind of course related. So John, we'll try our best to sort of answer these as best as we can. But if we're not able to answer your questions for whatever reason, you can email them to us at hlsmarketing@dmu.ac.uk, and we will make sure that they get followed up and passed on to the appropriate programme teams. You can also go back to the online chat. There are admissions teams available. There's also students from across the faculties in the university there that can help answer any questions. But let's see if we can try and get some answers to some of these questions that have come through. So this one is saying that she, hello, passed my CI for Masters in Global Health, but I found out that the course is not accredited. What is the best option to take? Because I believe this may become a problem for my career. John, have you got any advice with that one?
Yeah, sure thing. So obviously it is a full normal MSc that's accredited by the university. However, it's not accredited by any professional bodies. So this is a reasonably new course. We're going into it, I think, our 3rd cycle, is it, Vanessa? Roughly. Yeah. Anyway, it's reasonably new for the university. We've been in discussions recently on whether to get a Chartered Management Institute accreditation on it, which would come with your course. That's currently under discussion. So there are no formal plans. It's merely what we're thinking of at the moment. And yes, we can include those sort of things in the course. However, what we're trying to balance at the moment is the finances, how much extra that would put onto the fees and whether it's worthwhile or not. So it's a full MSc. It's a legitimate course by De Montfort University. It's not just a piece of paper. However, the professional aspects are not accredited to it at the moment. We're in discussions, but there are no formal plans yet. I know that's broad and loose, but yeah.
No, that's great, John. Thank you. And I think it comes back to what you want to benefit from that accreditation. I think Julie obviously mentioned about the professional accreditation that we have with the British Psychological Society, which is a fundamental step that you need to have if you are then going to take
in psychology. It absolutely is, yeah. And it fully, and same with GPHC or the British Pharmaceutical Council. There are some courses, if you want to go into a very specific line of work, yeah, you need the accreditation. There are others that are there to advance your knowledge and your professional opportunities, which we currently see Global Health as.
Is it? It's just
no, it's not. And don't get me wrong, it's wonderful to have all those things. I was lucky enough that I got a Chartered Management Institute accreditation on one of my old courses years ago, too many years ago, and yeah, it's a great little bonus. But I'm not sure how much it's been noted or really helped me. Because that's not the line of work I ultimately went into.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you. We have another question here regarding the pharmaceutical biotechnology course and just looking at placement opportunities. So is it course related?
They can be. So with these, again, we'd have to speak. So the 3 courses here that this will stand for all of, which is the pharmaceutical quality by design, the pharmaceutical biotechnology, and the advanced biomedical science. All 3 of those courses do not have a placement or work opportunity guaranteed within it. There are opportunities that the institution can provide. However, they are not part of the course. Can you do one that's relevant to the course? Absolutely. You can speak to our placement officers and we'll try and find something that works with that. However, there is nothing credit bearing at the moment. So can we? Yes. Is it guaranteed? No. And again, there may be an interview process that other people from other universities are competing for, etc.
Yeah. I think it's worth noting as well that we do have some really good industry links there. Obviously, the people that teach on the course are still either working or practicing out in industry and are able to bring that kind of link and contact. So if you did want to try and get some work experience, you can try and utilize some of that contact that the academic team will have. But as John has said, it's nothing that's built into the course or integrated, but it's not to say that you can't get some work experience that's relevant. Okay, the last question then that we will end on is that she's got an offer for my advanced biomedical science MSc, but my certificate is not yet ready. Can I still accept my offer and provide the certificate when it's ready?
Yeah, absolutely. So the admissions process it's as streamlined as we can make it, but obviously applying for a university is, well, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, and we come under things such as, visa regulations, Tier 4. So there are aspects with the admissions process that we are legally obliged to do. So yes, what will happen? You've got the offer. You can absolutely accept it. You can even pay your deposit, and it will become a conditional offer. And all we do is wait for your certificate, and then it will become an unconditional offer, which means we send out your visa letter if you're from a nation that needs that. So yeah, no worries. You can accept, you can pay, and we can just wait on your certificate. Once that comes through, the offer becomes unconditional, and you get your visa letter.
Excellent. Thank you very much, John. Okay, so thank you everybody for watching us and for joining us and giving your questions and comments to us. And hopefully we've managed to provide some information there for you. And the online event is still happening up until 6 o'clock in UK time. So if you wanted to ask any questions, you can go back onto that online chat. There'll be teams of people there that can help and support you. I've posted the email address again into the comments section. So if you do want to get in touch with the faculty, you can get in touch with us at that email address, and we will forward it on to the relevant people that will be able to answer those questions for you. So I'd like to thank John and Julia. Thank you for joining me today and for being part of this live stream. And wherever you are in the world, we wish you a good rest of the morning, the afternoon, the evening, depending on where you are. And we hope to see you at De Montfort University very soon. Goodbye, everyone.